Hey everyone, welcome to the Final Cut Discovery Edition. Yes, that's right, we are featuring a creature feature today in the season that it is in October here for horror films. This one is being released on Blu-ray on October 4th to digital and a disc. And we're going to take a kind of a hybrid review as well as look at the Blu-ray itself. So, They Crawl Beneath is the name of the movie, brought to us by Dale Fabregas, giving us the story of Danny and his uncle Bill, who are getting together for Thanksgiving. Danny is a cop who's having some relationship troubles. Well, he has troubles even worse when there's an earthquake and he and his uncle get trapped under a car that they're both working on. Now he's stuck in a garage with no help, and what doesn't make things any better is the fact that a crack has opened up in the floor of the garage and something evil has escaped. And now Danny is fighting for his life, not only trying to take care of the injuries he suffered by being trapped under the car, but also dealing with this evil force that seems to be coming through the hole in the ground and wants a piece of him. They Crawl Beneath is a fun indie creature feature that doesn't overstay its welcome. It's I liked a lot of this quite a bit. Now, Danny is played by Joseph Almani, who we saw in Reed's Point, who I thought did really well there, and he does well in here. You feel for this guy. He kind of feels like a balanced character. He's not a guy that isn't quite perfect, but at the same time, he isn't a guy you hate, and I really like that. I especially liked his scenes with Michael Perry, who plays his uncle. I thought these two played off each other well, and it's always great to see Michael on screen. He's been getting a lot of work lately. The relationship and characters that they have in here, the dialogue is a bit campy, but there's a lot of fun, and there's even some tension-filled moments in here, especially in a scene involving a doctor who's studying a discovery that they have with this little larva that they found. So I liked that. Speaking of other things that they did well, I think the practical effects they have in here are good. There is some gore and blood in here, but the creatures themselves that show up are practical for the most part. There are some, I think, CGI moments with them, but for the most part, they are practical and look great. And you can tell the actors were really able to do some better acting with the creatures right there in front of them. So, yeah, the practical, I like the design and the story that they came up with these creatures. It may feel like familiar territory, but it doesn't mean it's not entertaining, which I found most of the film to be. Now, there is a bit of a slow part just before we get to the big climactic stuff, and maybe that's why it did slow down just a little bit in its in the movement of the plot and the way things happen. It kind of stagnates for just a bit, but by the end it gets to be a bit tension filled and exciting, and this is a world that I wouldn't mind seeing more of these critters that are showing up. Now, let's drop down and take a look at the Blu-ray that will be coming out. I love the poster art in here, although don't be fooled by the guy here with the gun and the rifle. That don't happen. But it's still a very interesting cover art on here. It makes you wonder what's going on. Got the big fissure in there. And I really like the poster art in here and the cover art that they have. As far as the back, you got your basic production stills in here, your credits, as well as the summary of the film. I like the production stills. It gives you a little hint of the creatures that you're in for. And again, it looked fantastic on camera. If it was CG, it was done really well. But I think a lot of them were practical effects. Kind of reminded me, giving me a bit of a Tremors vibe. It's a very visually interesting Blu-ray cover. And on the inside, I love this disc art. Check that disc art out. It's more involved than some of the disc art we have gotten from bigger distribution companies. So I appreciate that quite a bit, that they put some effort in there, and then of course ads for their other releases. So They Crawl Beneath. Blu-ray release, now this is going to be $29.98 and the DVD is going to be $19.99. So if you're looking for an indie creature feature, you'll want to check this out. I think it'll also be out on digital, so you can grab it there. And I think it's worth a watch. It's, again, not that long, so, good afternoon with some popcorn and caramel apples and maybe some apple cider too. So thank you so much for watching. Please check out our Patreon if you haven't already. Subscribe, bells and whistles, thumbs up, then that here. I thank you for your support, and as always, remember to keep that ticket stub.